McIntosh did an extensive study this past year. He has some pertinent, very important information that he wants to share with us, but it's top secret, so it cannot leave this room. All right, so we're very confidential, but let's give Mr. Marc McIntosh a round warm welcome. Thank you, Marc.
All right. We're here?
Yep, good.
All right, when I started this, my first step was to go back in the archives. So we went back in the archives and I wanted to find the oldest bridal show ad that I could find. So that took me back to 1999. Sorry, Bill. So what do we have? America's #1. Fashion shows, prizes, aisle after aisle of exhibitors. More people attend. Don't miss it. Call now. So in all of those years since then, we have the internet, instant messaging, email, Amazon, The Knot, Google, Facebook, Zappos, YouTube, Wedding Wire, Twitter, Yelp, Pinterest, iPhone, App Store, iPad, QR codes.
What?
Fast forward to 2012. All right.
Slow forward to 2012.
It is a slow forward. I knew I would hear that. Fast forward to 2012, and we have everything for your wedding. Fashion shows, aisle after aisle of exhibits, win prizes. What has changed in the last 15 years? Not much. We were facing a bunch of challenges with our shows. We were spending a lot more money to maintain our attendance. Our advertising cost per bride in 5 years went from $40 per bride to over $60. We tried a very costly experiment back in the fall where we increased our media 50%, 50%. Nothing to base it on, no extra boost sales, just dug into the pockets and spent 50% more in advertising. And it did not move the needle. We were getting the message out there, but it didn't seem to be resonating. At the same time, we were seeing no real competition with big shows, but we were seeing this influx of these small niche, quote-unquote, high-end shows that were sort of taking a few brides here or there. The results from those shows were pretty respectable, but we were losing, we felt, some attendance to that. We were seeing a decline in our exhibitor renewal rate in spite of the fact that we were having good attendances. And we also found that both brides and exhibitors were placing a lot more emphasis on online resources, but on the exhibitor side with oftentimes lackluster results. So what we were doing was working, it just didn't work as well as it used to. And we were sort of foreseeing sort of a long, drawn-out spiral downward. And I wanted to stay in business. So we needed to figure out what we're going to do. I happened to attend, by luck, a networking event where a branding company was giving a presentation. And one of the themes that they hit on, and I'm so glad that our media panel said the exact same thing this morning, was that your message is so much more important than where you advertise. And I know that we sort of always fretted about where are we going to advertise, what station, where's the billboards going to be, what magazines we're going to be, I want to be on the right-facing page, and all of those things that we stress, and then we're, whoa, got that done. And then we did not put nearly as much emphasis on the content of that advertising. And so I met with their team, and at first I thought that we were going to maybe do a little bit of a rebranding, maybe change the logo, change some of our advertising, just freshen things up a bit. And that's kind of what I thought going into it. The first step in the process was a whole bunch of research. And in this research, we researched brides who attended our shows over the past 2 years. We did surveys of brides who attended other shows. We did surveys of brides who were aware of our shows, but did not attend. They were on our marketing list, and we knew they knew about our event, but they didn't come. And we did a random sample of recently married brides. On the exhibitor side, we researched our current exhibitors. We researched our previous exhibitors that hadn't been back in a while. We researched exhibitors in other shows that were not doing ours. And we just researched people out there in the wedding business who did a bunch of advertising but did not participate in bridal shows. Found a lot of things out. These surveys were different. Different audiences got different questions, and just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of responses, but a lot of things kind of rose to the top on that. The good news, 94% of brides attended some sort of a bridal show type event. Now that could be a full-blown show, it can be an open house, anything in between, but we found that 94% of those brides attended something with generally positive results. Why did they attend? And these are in order. Thought it would be helpful to the planning of my wedding. Wanted to get ideas. Sounded like fun. Wanted to shop a lot of companies in one place, find some deals, and meet people face to face. And that was the order in which they wanted to attend before they came to the show. Things changed a little bit after they attended. I found this one most telling. Now that you've attended, why were you glad that you attended? Number one answer. Seeing companies face-to-face was important. Went from number 6 before they came to the show to number 1 after they attended the show. My theory on that? They thought they'd done a lot of research online. They found a really cool company, very interested in them, saw them at the show, met them face-to-face, and didn't like them, and changed their opinion on that. Inspiration and ideas, loved that. And the usual, lots of options to choose from. A lot of positive impressions about bridal shows. Brides find them to be informative, fun, useful, lots of choices, helpful vendors. Again, the brides that are coming to these events are generally having a good experience. One thing that we asked and found and wasn't really surprising, but in spite of all of the internet research that brides do, 97% of them will not book their major vendors, no matter where they found them, without meeting them face-to-face first. And that, folks, is the one thing that we do best, is to facilitate that. On the exhibitor side, why do you exhibit at a bridal show? Lots of brides in one place, time efficient, cost effective, enables me to get the word out quickly. We asked those companies what their most effective marketing resource was, or marketing method. Referrals, number one. Bridal shows come in at number two, followed by the websites and the magazines. Now the bad news. Asking brides, what planning resource did you find to be the most important? And look where we come in. Websites, top, referrals from friends, referrals from other vendors, wedding planner, bridal magazines, and bringing up the rear are bridal shows.
Is this before or after they attended a bridal show, or do you know?
This one came from the universe of recently married brides. Some that had attended shows, some that had not attended shows, and this is where they ranked us.
Mark, could you read the list again for those of us that...
Wedding websites, number one. Referrals from friends. Referrals from other vendors. Wedding planner, bridal magazines, and bridal shows.
Thank you.
Any chance afterwards that we have a copy?
I suppose you can have a copy. Yes, I will make this available.
Please. Thank you.
All right, why did you not attend? These are brides that we knew were aware of our show. Why did you not attend? Number one answer, I'm happy just doing my planning online. I did not want to talk to people who just wanted to sell me something. I'm relying on referrals and word of mouth. I did not know what a bridal show was all about. And the practical reason, it was inconvenient. Bad time of year, bad time of day, whatever. Negative perceptions about bridal shows. Crowded, full of pushy salespeople. And guess this, what do we all scream in our advertising? 200 exhibitors, aisle after aisle of them. What are the brides hearing that? Crap, there's going to be 200 people there trying to hard sell me and pressure me into making a bad decision. Why would I want to attend that sort of an event? Overwhelming, lots of calls and emails afterwards, and a waste of time. Exhibitors. What are your perceptions about bridal shows? Not enough return on investment. Brides lack focus and motivation. They're just there to walk around. And too much competition.
Mark, you're going to turn this around for us, right?
I'm turning this around. I trust you. We're getting there. Top reasons for not exhibiting at a show. Number one reason. I don't know if I'm going to get my money back or not. It's a big investment. I don't know the value. Low quality brides. That's who attends bridal shows. It's hard to get results. And it's too much work. We identified through all of this some hot buttons for the brides and the vendors. The bride's hot buttons: seeing things up close, making that face-to-face contact, getting inspiration and ideas, tasting cake, very important on brides' lists, lots of options in one place, and saving money. And that was the order in which these came in. We gave them a list of 20 things that could be part of a bridal show. Some we were doing, some we weren't doing. Here's 20 things. How important would it be for you to see these things at a show? Inspiration, top of the list. Coming there to get ideas. Seeing the gallery thing that some of us do. Do-it-yourself ideas. discounts and special offers. An area of the show focused on budget-priced wedding vendors. A bag of stuff. Bringing up the rear at 18, 19, and 20, the last ones on the list. An elaborate runway fashion show. A showcase of bands and DJs. And celebrity wedding people like you see on television. On the exhibitor side, what do they want? Lots and lots of brides, of course. No competitors, of course. They want it to be easy. They want the ever-elusive high-dollar bride. And they want them, that the show management cares about them being there. So we took all of this and we developed an action plan. We learned some things and we've taken specific steps to change these things. We learned that the brides are confused about the whole size of the show thing. They want options, but they dread the quantity of options. We removed every reference to the size of the show from our advertising. We let the fact that it's at the convention center kind of speak to that, but we took out the aisle after aisle, the biggest show in town, the 200 exhibitors, banished all of that language from our advertising. We replaced it with language such as see all of your options and chat with local wedding professionals. They want ideas and inspiration more than anything. Look at Pinterest and how popular that is. We refocused our gallery area and we called it, and we now call it the Wedding Inspiration Gallery. And we're adding what we're calling the Wall of Inspiration, which is going to be a series of big screen televisions in a focal point of the show that's going to be like a on-site version of Pinterest. They want advice. We were a little torn on this because I know how many people are pissed at the knot because of all of the do-it-yourself advice, which is pretty much let's show the bride how to not hire the professionals that buy advertising on the knot. And that's been a big topic of controversy for a while. But the brides really, really like this do-it-yourself advice. So we set up a series of workshops in the show, but we sort of called it, at least when we're selling it to our exhibitors, the do-it-yourself workshop with a twist. So we brought in various professionals that were from our exhibitors, and the first half of their presentation was how to do things yourself. And the second half of their presentation was, and why it's not a good idea to do it yourself. And they were pretty well received. They tended to be, they weren't 100 people seeing them, but it gave the exhibitors who did them a face-to-face opportunity, and these people got sales out of those contacts that they made. They want better direction. A lot of the brides in our surveys, the first thing they felt when they got to the show was overwhelmed and they didn't know what to do. And so we did some really simple things. Some of our shows we didn't have a floor plan in our show directory. We made that, we typically only did that in our biggest shows. Now we do it in all of them. But what we also are doing is we're dividing those out by, if you're looking for a florist, here's where they are. If you're looking for photographers, and you can't find one, you're... You know, one of the things that I'm sure you hear this, and we heard it so many times that it's just not practical, was can you group the exhibitors by similar type? Lots and lots of brides want that. They really loved that idea. And to avoid bloodshed in our shows, we've never decided to put similar exhibitors by each other. But also what we found is that it's, that might work for your top 5 categories, and where do you put everybody else? And so that, we all know that that's really not going to work, but to counter that and to give the bride a little bit more what they're looking for is now it's broken down. If you're looking for a florist, here's where they are. If you're looking for photographers, photo booths, here's where they are on the show floor. Just making it easier, giving them some direction. We're trying to put them more in the buying mood, because we're hearing this from exhibitors. They're just kind of wandering around picking up stuff. And we want these brides, even though they don't want to be hounded and sold things, we still, in order for us to be successful, we need to put them in the buying mood, telling them why they are there. We have, we're starting a program that is going to give the brides an incentive to make appointments at the show, where we are doing they're going to have something that when they make an appointment at the show, the exhibitor is going to sign off on something. They drop this card in a box at the end of the day, and then we will draw one, and depending on how many appointments they made, they'll win a cash prize of a certain amount of money. This is now focusing them on why they are supposed to be there, to make those connections, because a lot of them don't seem to know that. And we're also going to supplement that with a video. We're selling such a high percentage of our tickets online. Now I have access to these brides in advance. And we're going to, along with their ticket purchase, is going to be a video, what to expect and what to do when you're there. They want to save money. We launched what we call the Book of Wedding Savings, which is not a new idea at all, and an idea that we actually shunned for years, because we thought if you do any kind of discounts and coupons and things, that's only going to attract the lower end bride. But what we found was that brides with $40,000 and above wedding budgets wanted this more than brides with $10,000 wedding budgets.
Sorry, Mark, just back to your last point, because I was just writing something down there. Do you show them the video before they buy the tickets or after they buy the tickets?
After they buy the tickets.
Different videos that you show.
After they buy the tickets, it's kind of a how to do the show video.
Mark?
Yes?
I was going to say, we found out that brides like the idea secret tips on how to prepare. It was an SEO term that we found floating around the internet. So we created a video called Secret Tips on How to Prepare to Attend a Show, and it was viewed 3,700 times in the month of December alone. And
that's right on the track that they want direction. That's it.
Video.
So you give them a prize if they make an appointment? Do they have to keep the appointment? Would that inspire them to just make a lot of appointments if they don't intend to keep?
It could. That's a new thing. We don't know that yet. But again, we're trying to just facilitate that commerce that isn't happening as much as it should be happening. And again, going back to the fact that really, they're not going to book people till they meet them up front. And with vendors, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but with vendors, their only hope in this day and age. You go to Wedding Wire in Washington, D.C., and there are 1,700 photographers listed there. There's no way for it. So what we've been stressing for the last year in our marketing talks is that the show is giving you, yeah, you're going to have competition, but you're going to have a hell of a lot less than you're going to have anywhere else. But in your only hope in this day where these directories online are just giving you a list of almost commodities, the only way you're going to ever be able to sell and be successful is getting that face-to-face thing. And that's what the show is a great way to do that. We've been preaching for years, like sell the appointment, not the sale and all that. This is taking that to a little bit different level again, trying to put that bride in the buying mood that she isn't necessarily in when she comes to the show.
Are you going to be able to educate the vendors that this is happening, this is how you prepare, this is how to follow up on
Yeah,
all
hold
those
that thought.
points?
We're getting to that. So, again, the things that we do better than anybody else, the see, feel, touch, taste. We know those things are important. We're stressing those things to the bride much more so than the aisle after aisle of exhibitors. And most importantly, we're trying to create an experience that cannot be replicated online. And we have, I'm just touching the surface of some of the things that we're going to do. But in all of this, it's like, all right, we're changing things so dramatically that let's double down on this. And we decided to completely change the branding of our show. We're changing the name of our show to The Wedding Experience. We are changing our advertising. You saw what our ad looked like from 2012. All right, here we go. Yes, pointing this at the screen really helps.
Press hard.
There we go. It's not exactly where I want it to be, but this gives you some ideas to the look of the ad. We got rid of the whole laundry list of all of the stuff that we're doing in the ad, and we're changing it to, it's just a short paragraph. Talks about inspiration, chatting with wedding professionals, taste cake. Again, that is a huge, huge hot button with brides is tasting cake, so that's what we put in there. So this is kind of a look of what we're changing. It's trying not to scream at these brides. On the exhibitor side, we learned a lot of things. We learned that they don't know how to market themselves. And I kind of looked at you go to buy an ad in a bridal magazine. The people that run the magazine don't want suck ads in their magazine, so they do a lot of work with people to make them have a better ad. You do, you buy an ad on Wedding Wire, and they help you write it and they help you design it. And then you buy a booth at a bridal show, and somewhere in our exhibitor stuff we tuck in the 10 steps to bridal show success, and that's pretty much it. So we are making a very increased focus on exhibitor education and doing hands-on, small group, 10 or 12 people, meetings with all of our exhibitors we're going to crank them all out in a day where they're going to talk to each other, we're going to analyze their website, they're going to bring their ideas for their booth, we're going to critique those ideas for the booth, helping them at least have a good presence. I had a show 2 weeks ago. We had 3 videographers in there trying to shoot video because I wanted to put a video presentation together. Let's go get video of all the booths, and I'm now trying to find 90 seconds of footage out of these 300 clips of something that works. And it's almost impossible. I had this great booth, they're panning in on it, this really beautiful cake, and then they pan to this big muscled guy in a tank top that's slicing the cake. I have we now have a lounge area in some of our shows with a bar. And I have this great booth, lots of brides in front talking, everybody's smiling, everybody's happy, and the guy's got a beer sitting on his table in his booth. The exhibitor. I have this great photography booth that's perfect, except for the box sticking out from under the table, the cardboard. I can't show this stuff to anybody. None of them know how to do this 100%. And so we're really working on the training. We're also going to every booth during the show and taking a picture, and we're going to send it to them afterwards with critique on what you should have done. And it's not going to make some of them happy, but they're not coming back if they're not having success. So we're just really, really stressing that help in how to do this. They don't know how to attract brides to the booth when they get them there. And so a part of that training is going to stress how to make this thing compelling and It's how to get them there. Now, we've always had this door prize thing that some of you do, and we do a little bit differently, but where it makes you stop at the booth, and we're just putting an added emphasis on that. And once you get them there, what are you supposed to do? The vendors don't know what to do with the bride when they stop. And that goes into this make appointments promotion that we're doing. They don't track their results. We can tell them, I've been preaching in my seminars for years, track your leads,